And number 36. In the AMX. The track looks fast today, huh? Wow. Who did your helmet?
Fai il fronte e mantiene la posizione.
You have a spare racing glove.
Non discutere.
In 1968, AMC got into the pony car, sports car, muscle car era, whatever you want to call it. And one of their entries was the AMX, which was one of just two American-built two-seaters. It was a direct competition with the 1-inch longer wheelbase Chevy Corvette and substantially less money. Now, since this was a muscle car, AMC got into racing with it. The Javelins had already been racing successfully in Trans Am and SCCA races. The AMX had set all kinds of records with Craig Breedlove, but that really wasn't doing a whole lot to impress the sports car world. So one of the AMC employees decided to, let's form a racing team, and it was called TEAM, an acronym for Technical Employees of American Motors. Totally volunteer. These guys would put these cars together and they'd race it on the weekend, and a tiny budget of $25,000. The car did actually really well. It won several races, and so that's what we're going to make today. We're going to make the Team AMX slot car. Nobody makes a 1/32 scale AMX slot car. There's some resin cast bodies out there. I've used them. They're kind of heavy. It takes a lot to prep them. So this is a model that was made by, I believe it was Revell or Monogram, and it was a snap kit. And I bought this off eBay for like 25 bucks. The body's in great shape, which means it'll be easy to paint. So essentially what I'm going to do is bust it up, rip it apart, and then put it back, well, paint it, and then put it back together and put it on this chassis. This is a Boxster, and the Scalextrics Boxster actually is a pretty good running car, really good running chassis. I did do an upgrade to the motor, went to like, I think it was 19,000 RPMs from what I think it was 18 before, and had to add just a little bit of magnet to it. So we're going to take this apart. I'm sure I'm going to break up some stuff here. Already broke. Oh, there we go. So here's the chassis coming off. We're not going to use that. Now I have to pull the interior out. There's a couple of tabs right there. And I might actually come back and use that again. We're going to have to see how the motor fits. Let's see. So I only broke up that one part, so I just have to fit that. Now the thing that I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to make some posts for this. This I actually borrowed from one of my other money-sucking hobbies, RC planes. This is a connector that connects the control surfaces to the servos, and to make sure it doesn't flex, it goes in this plastic sleeve right here, and then you see it stays really stiff, which is really important if you want to have your plane come down in one piece. So what I do is I glue it in there, make sure it's dry, and then I cut that off and I glue it onto the body, as you'll see in a minute. And on the end there, I don't know if you can see that, there's actually a hole right there that the screws go right into. So it works out really, really well. This is something you could buy at any hobby shop, and it's fairly cheap. All right, to save some time, I cut those posts down. You can see them on the front and the back. There isn't any magical measuring thing. It's all kind of eyeball stuff, and then I screwed them into the bottom, and then we're gonna test fit it to the body, and you can see it comes up really well. So then what I'm going to do is, rather than just glue the posts to the body, I'm going to put these, they're kind of like washers that have a little bit of a lip on the top, and I put those over there, and then when I glue it, it kind of just floats in there, and then these washers right here give it some more grip, so that it doesn't break off. It just, I suppose you'd go without them, but this has always worked with me in the past, so that's what I go with. Okay, so here is the car. with the posts already in. You see the little washer things that I have around there just to kind of keep them attached better to the body. The one thing I noticed about this just recently is that the rear wheel well is not correct. And this must have been something in the mold, because I've seen some resin cast ones like this. The wheel well is not flat like that. It's just round like the front one, but I'm not going to go crazy and fill that in and make it totally scale because I don't want to have to do anything with the red paint right now. So next up is masking and painting. Okay, now it's all masked off. This will be the white that goes on first. I should tell you up front, I am not a great painter. I'm average at best, so my hope is that I don't get any orange peel on this, but we'll see. Okay, so here's the finished white, and now I'm going to tape off and do the light blue, which will go all the way onto the hood right here. All right, well that turned out okay. It's different. I mean, if you look at it real close, you're going to see some paint got, you know, through the masking tape, but you know, this is a 5-foot deal. So next I'm going to put these decals on. So the decals I found at a local hardware store, and it's got the 3 circles, the 8 balls I guess they call them, and I'm going to put a number on, so they're press-on numbers, dry transfer decals, and then I'll be ready to remount the body to the chassis, and we'll have a car that's ready to rock and roll. Okay, so there's the press-on letters that I used. They're not scale, actually they're Pine Car Derby ones that I got at the hardware store, but they work. And now I'm going to put some clear coat on it and put it back together. Okay, I was thinking about putting the scale interior back in, but unfortunately, because of it's an in-runner. Okay, so I was thinking about putting the interior back in, but because it's a in-runner motor, it would sit up there and I'd have to cut like so much motor space there. I opted not to do that. Instead, I took parts of the interior and a driver, and so I added the cockpit or the dashboard to it and the steering wheel. So now we got at least a semi-scale race car. Time to put it back together now. Alright, all done, put back together. I did add a chin spoiler to it because the original one had it. So let's see how it runs, keeping in mind I am driving and shooting at the same time. Alright, there you have it, a little bit of American Motors history made in 1/32 scale slot car racing. Next time, Nash goes to Le Mans.